Call our regular meeting to order. A recording and/or broadcast of this meeting is being made at the direction of the board, which may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Start by calling the roll. Mr. Talio. Here. Mr. Ivanovich.
Yes.
Mr. Kay.
Here.
Spicer.
I'm here.
I'm also here. All trustees are present. We'll next go to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Moving on to D3, agenda approval. Would any board members like to provide comment on the agenda? Seeing none, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to closed session reports. No action was taken in closed session, so we'll move on to D5 superintendent's update.
Yep, just a few updates for you tonight. Our back to school nights are now all complete. I want to thank the teachers who spend so much time prepping for back to school night and principals who are there and support staff. And really so thrilled that we had an amazing turnout from parents this year. Really great turnout. I went to multiples and many of them were standing room only for kind of the general sessions. Our classrooms were packed, so it's fantastic. We're happy to see our community out and engaged. Last Thursday, we had our challenge team has resumed, which is one of our greatest kind of feel-good community meetings that happens monthly at the Mountain View Police Department, where pretty much all interested agencies having to do with serving youth in our community gather and talk about the state of our youth in the area is great. I was happy to give a quick update and introduce our new principal and some of our folks who came. This is Khaled and Greg were both there, which is terrific. But I always enjoy Challenge Team. It's a really great community team. I've been doing some work and wanted to let you know over the last 2 weeks or so, preparing myself for the Prop 39 process. It's been many years since we've actually gone through the process as a district. So finding the old packets and forms, and you'll see today updating our board policy and administrative regulation, make sure our timelines are all up to date and what have you. So that's been a good learning on my part to make sure that Eric and I will be on top of Prop 39 when we get rolling on that. And then wanted to let you know, we'll be meeting with our PTA presidents. I always love the monthly meeting with our PTA presidents. That's happening this Friday. It's a great time to just connect and kind of set the stage for the year. I look forward to meeting with them. And then next week, LAEF has their board meeting on the 19th. And Stella Cam is going to come as a rep from CACF. Stella just walked in the room. And do the ABCs of school finance, which is the CACF kind of road show that they developed last year. We did a trial run with PTA presidents and got some feedback. So this will be the first trial. And it's great to inform our community. People don't really understand how school funding works as a basic aid district and how it all works. So I appreciate that Stella is taking on that task. Next week. Boy, told you I didn't sleep well last night. There we go. That's my update for today. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to item E, the consent calendar. Would any board members like to provide comments on the consent calendar? Would any board members like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Motion to approve the consent calendar as presented, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on to employee request to address the board.
Oh, yep. It's not even 1:30 in the morning. It's so good to see all of you. It was just really, I have to say, although it was a late night, it was quite a treat to get to spend some time with each of you and get to know you a little bit more personally. All right, for our update, it's the beginning of the school year, which is exciting and exhausting for all teachers. But I think one of the key parts at the beginning of the school year is curiosity. Like, it is so fun to be curious about our students. It is so fun to watch teachers. I have the privilege of being a teacher that travels I've actually taught in every school in our district, and I have the privilege of traveling and seeing all these classrooms and all these kids. And it's incredible to see the relationships that teachers are able to build so quickly by being curious, by asking kids questions, by understanding who they are and where they come from and what they're interested in, by seeing the products of work that they already are creating, which is absolutely astounding. The fact that, what are we, 4 weeks in, and we've got these beautiful pieces of work up in our classroom. We have our PLC that now some schools or all schools are joining together to create like a little bit larger cohorts of grade level teams to do some planning around deeper learning. So just a lot going on. The one thing that I would say, I feel like as LATA president, I like to have sort of a call to action to, our board members of what teachers might need, and what I would say is to just, as much as teachers are curious with their students, to be curious about our teachers and to find ways that maybe you can reach out or see what teachers are feeling. I'm one person, I'm one voice, you can hear it from me, but I think it's really meaningful when you find ways to seek out teacher comments, seek out teacher feedback, see what's really going on, because they can tell me all they want, but I think when you can also ask them and they can give you context, it makes a big difference. So I guess I would just end today by saying thank you for the support you guys have given us, and please just continue to be curious and ask teachers about their experience, because we are the ones with kids. We are the ones that take on every and all initiatives we're given, and we really are professionals, and we should have our voice heard as much as possible. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have anyone from CSEA? We will then move on. To provide public comment on an agenda item, speaker cards are to be submitted to the superintendent. Speaker cards will not be accepted once public comment begins. Your name will be announced when it is your turn to speak. Move on to community comments. Do you have any requests for community comments? All right. Last call for anyone wanting to make comments on any item not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to action discussion items. Starting with H1, transitional kindergarten.
Yeah. Good evening. Nice to see all of you tonight.
Now, I want you to know Denise and I have not rehearsed this, but I believe it's going to go off beautifully. We are so happy to be here tonight, and you can see we have a small army of folks behind us who represent some of our TK team. We'd like to report on what's going on in the world of TK. Making sure I'm going back, this is the 3rd year now where the age of eligible students has dropped. By next year, students that are 4 years old by September 1st will be eligible to be in our TK classes. And this has represented the need for some updates and some changes to make sure that we are aligned with developmentally appropriate practices for kids. It's also meant that we've added some new folks to our team, and I'll introduce 2 of these folks to you tonight. Kathleen Wan, who has been a teacher for a long time in LASD at Santa Rita, is now at Covington in the TK classroom. And Joan Odell, who's been at Almond, is now at Springer as a TK teacher. So we welcome them to the team. And thank them for all of their prep and setting up new classrooms this year and getting ready for the year. Our promise to TK is no different than it is for any other student in any other grade level in our district. We nurture children holistically, their cognitive, emotional, social, and emotional needs. There is a difference coming in kindergarten or at TK. We will have students who enter our school next year who are 3 years old because they won't turn 4 until September 1st. And so it's, when you put it that way, you really start to think about like the needs of kids at 3 years old or barely 4 is really different even than beginning of a kindergarten 5-year-old. So I'm really happy this year because we've actually, Denise and I started partnering around some some leadership in TK by attending some training at the county office and learning from the experts there about what we can bring back and offer our team here. Denise is going to talk to you about some of the important aspects of our TK program.
So the state has recognized that we need some support with this. This is a big adjustment. I was once a kindergarten teacher and they were 5, right? And so having a 3-year-old is very different. And so I appreciate that the Learning Foundations have been, they just got rolled out fresh off the press here. So this will be part of our work this year with our teachers, is having a deeper understanding of the foundations. When I think about our TK program, or to close my eyes and think about my wonderful program with CC and Dave, it is a language-rich classroom. You hear song, read aloud, play going on, and you may remember your own children, right? At this age, you may have remembered them some parallel play going on. And this is really what's important with the adults in the room to help facilitate that language and that working together side by side versus just playing in isolation. In the environment, children are learning the early literacy skills. They are learning about phonics, rhyming, segmenting their words. They interact with song and rhyme throughout the day. They're also learning about math and building that understanding of number sense and fine and gross motor skills. I'm really pleased to announce that we've leaned into those gross motor skills this year. I encourage you to come out to see our sites. Many of our schools have new trikes, basketball hoops, and scoop boards. So we're really leaning into that whole body experience in our TK program. Something that I'm sure you're very familiar with is our Kimochi program. This is just one small piece of our program when we're recognizing the social and emotional needs of our children. As you know, we are here to create environments with safety and belonging and building those rich, developmental relationships, positive relationships with student to student and student with the adults in the room. And so that is the foundation, because when children feel safe, and they are engaged and they know they can count on their friends and the adults, they're participating in school more. And so when I think about our program, we're creating opportunities for them to share, to create something together. They're problem solving. And this is evident each day. I've had the pleasure of being at Springer and at Santa Rita, and I see this through, some may call it centers or learning stations, but it's very purposeful play that we want children learning literacy skills and math skills and science in an environment that really recognizes the age of the child. We've also leaned in this year to what the classroom environment needs. I think many of us, we may have taught kindergarten, then we've slid down to K. I think about Joan, right? Well, the furniture might not work. They're 3. And so really looking at the size of the furniture, what we need for the children to have those calm spaces where they can, relax and regroup if they need to. So we've gotten some new soft furniture for the classroom. So being able to have little nooks and spaces for them to go to if they need a calming space for themselves. As you know, all of our teachers, TK through 6, were given the IDJA books last year. TK got some books too. That's been great. And so recognizing the culturally rich environment we want for our students, we want them to celebrate who they are and what their families represent. And this is done through books, it's done through activities in the classroom, engaging with families to come in and celebrate their culture and heritage. And this is something that I recently attended a library training about the power of having books that represent our culture. Really is a foundational piece for children to actually want to come to school more. So that's really important. The literacy reflects our children in the environment. We also recognize that children love to play with dolls. And so we purchased them dolls that represent a variety of cultures in our classrooms. So we're really pleased that we just keep expanding our opportunities. I am pleased that we are no longer assessing our TKers with the LPAC test. They were a little young to take that type of assessment, but we still need to meet the needs of our children who are multilingual. We know what students are multilingual from the home survey that parents fill out. So we're working with the classroom teachers to identify the language needs of children and providing extra support as needed. So we're not having children take those assessments, but we as the educators are looking at their language needs and supporting them with, more conversation, more background support, visuals. Anything else, Greg? You think about the language support that we're using. I know at Santa Rita, we're having Mr. Abel come in to push into the classroom. At Almond, Almond's have been in Almond too. So making sure all my notes here. When I just think about the classroom, when I think about TK, like I mentioned, such rich language and a lot of visual support going on as well, because we can recognize that sometimes we can get overloaded with so much language coming in, but we also are providing a lot of visuals for children as well.
All right, Denise has already kind of mentioned this, but there's an important component in TK around learning through play. And this is a really important diagram that our teachers have used and continue to use as they're planning for kids. There's a spectrum of play, everything from kids playing on their own free play, all the way to very teacher-directed play where they're learning together still around games and play and the different activities that are going on in class. So kids have a lot of choice. You'll see in our classes, there are stations like dramatic play with kitchens, puppet theaters, math manipulative centers, art and creativity centers, on. And outdoor, we have sensory tables and we're hoping to see some water play and some music going on and art outside as well. The outdoor places are really important. Play helps kids learn to make decisions, to solve problems, to interact with each other, and to adapt and be resilient.
Some of the items that we mentioned today about the trikes, everyone has a Bluetooth boombox because children love to sing and dance at recess time. The basketball hoops, the sand and water table, they're portable, you move them in and out. This is also for our kindergarten students as well. So it's not just for TKers. This is a beautiful picture of our team. We actually went to Stanford Bangor Preschool in the springtime. We also visited the San Jose State Cooperative Preschool as well. And these two experiences were, I think, career changing for many of us to see environments set up completely differently than how our schools are. And so we took a lot of pictures, stealing ideas of how we can make our classrooms be more age appropriate within the setting. Like Greg mentioned, we have a partnership with the County Office of Education. Robin Stone is someone that we are leaning on to support us professionally, and she's been a great resource for us. I think not only being able to visit the school, but being together. TK has been modeling the cross-school collaboration for many years now. And it's been done, we found it most effective to be kind of virtual week to week. We do tour each other's classrooms throughout the year, but they have been the pioneers of this cross-school model. But the idea that we all came together for these 2 days was really powerful. I could feel our team getting closer together and building that strong professional bond. Because of these experiences, I think I can speak for the team here, the enthusiasm for the new year was really strong. I think teachers are excited and feeling ready for the changes that are coming. If I think about all of the grade levels, TK to 8 here in LASD, TK is the one with the most change going on, and our teachers are ready. They are leaning in and they're growing professionally and very excited to partner with each other and us to ensure that we are providing a rich program for our students. And so just kind of in conclusion, coming back to the wheel and moving forward, we are doing this. This is our work. Each week we get together in our professional learning communities. We are focusing on different aspects of the wheel. Of course, right now we are right there in the positive developmental relationships, getting to know our students And also our families, that is so important. This is the first experience for many of them in a school setting, and we want families to feel that they are partners with us. So building those relationships is key for the success of our student. As we've mentioned, we're doing a lot with the environment to make sure that the environment is developmentally appropriate for our children and really creating those rich learning experiences. And I think our teachers are really being mindful of that facilitated play, language-rich environments, and really trying to hone that social emotional learning for our students. So I am very, very proud of our team and appreciate you coming tonight.
Your questions for us?
Seamless.
We did.
Any questions?
That was good. Oh my God, yeah.
Please,
I want to be a TKer.
Yeah.
Feel free to visit.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're gonna set up-
That'd be awesome.
Please come by, and I think the Warriors should come by. I see some potential, Warriors players out there. Basketball.
So next year is the final expansion,
It is,
and
yeah,
then it'll be
and just.
there for the full year.
Yeah.
Mostly 4-year-olds, the occasional 3 years. Any other questions? Any requests for public comment? Yep.
Do you have, I know that schools do this in other grades, they have a higher grade buddy that cares what, you do that there? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Kids love to teach other kids, and they love to
Yes.
learn.
Yeah.
Just you were talking about language and how to meet the kids where they're at. If they come from a family that speaks Spanish at home, how many Spanish speaking teachers do we have? How many teachers in TK are able to read the kids?
So if they themselves are not multilingual, we have additional staff who are able to come in and support. I think that's where we're being able to meet their needs through, working together. I think that's the beauty
Yeah.
of our schools, is that we are small, but we help each other. And so we cover classes, we push in if we need to.
One sort of like boring way to look at each grade is the job of that grade is to prepare the kids for the next grade. So what sort of changes might you want to see? Oh, what sort of changes do you expect to see in kindergarten? This is from the TK program that you're.
That's interesting. This is one of the big questions that we had as we were going to the county office last year and meeting with the leaders there who really are experts in this early learning world. And what we've learned is that the play turns into more teacher directed as the year goes on. And so by the time that kids get in kindergarten, they're really prepared for more of the traditional type of kindergarten experience that we see.
Take me out with the filter here.
One final question. Does the TK program intersect with after-school programs, ELOC or anything like that?
Yes, so our TKers are made aware of our after-school program when families first enroll with us, that we offer childcare after school. So yes, there is a component of ELOC with the TK program.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you asked two of the questions that I was wondering about. My question is a little bit different. Just, it's such a beautiful program that you've outlined, and it's so beneficial to starting our kids for their educational trajectory. Are we still working with local preschools to get a little bit more of a pipeline and sort of like introduce them to the values in LASD and how we work with the kids to sort of make that transition easier?
It's been a while since we've done something locally, but we actually just got a call from this, oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now, right here at the corner of Magdalena. Big preschool. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're working on a partnership with them. And last time we worked with them, they brought in people from multiple preschools. And so we'll be working with them again this year.
Yes, and it's funny, I just shared with Sarah Stern Benoit, signs at my local school district that they hang on there outside the building about what age child can be enrolled in TK. So I'm hoping we can get some signage. It's English and Spanish. I just took that picture for Sarah. And I was wondering, I was going to lean on Sandra to see if we could possibly get those signs posted at maybe some local parks and the community center. So no promises. I'm not sure the rules on that, but just because it has changed. I think everyone thinks my child's 5, I can enroll them in school, and we have to do more outreach.
Yeah, because what we offer the kids, especially in TK, is so special.
Yes.
And maybe a lot of parents don't know that this is a resource that's open to them. And it's a nice gateway into our school district too, I think.
Right. And I think I can say this confidently, not every school in Santa Clara County offers a full day TK program. So that makes us, even more unique and wonderful.
Any further comments? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We'll move on to H2, facilities master plan. So if anyone would like to provide public comment on this item, please submit a speaker card. Go ahead.
Well, actually, part of the facility master plan is some much needed upgrades for TK, so it's the perfect timing to have this item right after the TK presentation. Tonight, we're excited to really finalize the school facility master plan for the district. It's been a 14-month-long process. We started the RFQ last July of 2023. So it's been a 14-month process. Tonight, we're here to finalize that. Brent McClure is here from CAW Architects to help answer any questions. We did bring it to the board last week to ask any previous meeting, to ask any questions for clarification. This is a living document. It will change as our needs change, but as we have been discussing, there's over $700,000 worth of, or $700 million worth of needs. And the bond measure that's on the ballot in November is only going to address some of those needs. So it's very important if the bond passes, that we'll then get into the idea of prioritizing which projects are feasible, and then also putting together a timeline and implementation plan. It's a little too early to be doing that now, but once we pass the bond measure E. But tonight, Brent is here to answer any questions that you might have for facility master plan. This is an action item.
Any questions, board members? Or any requests for public comment? No? Any further board discussion?
Other than this is an exceptionally exhaustive document, I'm very thankful for it. A lot of great work went into assessments and really working with all of our community. So thank you for all those involved.
Right. And just for anybody just for the audience, you might not be, sorry, the other question.
Yeah, I just, the 10 sites not mentioned, I think I mentioned that last time. And, it's not a major concern, it's sort of bubbling in the background. But if we do something with the 10 site, then that's going to sort of like push the buildings around on either block. Might push some of the buildings around.
I think, and just to be clear, the facilities master plan does have some ideas about prioritization, just not sort of detailed list, because it's pending both the bond, but also work to fund final costs sequence. Right, correct.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, absent further discussion, here to entertain a motion.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion, I'm assuming, to approve the facilities master plan presented, made by Vladimir, seconded by Shal. All in favor, thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Thank you so much for all of your.
Thank you, everybody. It was great working with the community and all of you and the staff. It was just a really tremendous process. So
Now the next phase.
thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Great presentation tonight, Brad.
Really killed it.
Thanks for being here.
Moving on to H3, BCS renewal petition update.
Yes. I just think we've been updating the community kind of after each meeting we've attended. So we all attended a meeting last.
Well, actually, the August meeting was since our last board meeting.
Oh,
All right, would you like to give a broader, Mr. President?
So, so I think all of us attended the County Board of Education meeting on August 26th into the wee hours of August 27th. Where,
not all of us.
oh, no, sorry, I was trying to remember. All of us like Vladimir were at the County Board of Education meeting on August 26th into the wee hours of the 27th. The county board took 6 votes, I think, in 5 different motions. And approved the charter school renewal subject to conditions. Biggest condition being negotiation of an MOU with initially with the county superintendent, but then to come before the board for the county board for final approval. And the contents of the MOU were basically a combination of fixing all of the issues that the county staff identified with BCS's renewal petition and some additional reporting requirements, mostly to continue to address the issues that the county identified in the notice of concern way back in 2021 and reaffirmed in 2023. The charter school representatives were not entirely happy with that outcome. And it's with some discussion, to my understanding, between sort of charter department staff and county staff, actually came forward at the county's next meeting on September 4th, last Wednesday, and basically asked the county board to reconsider their action from the 27th and pass a different resolution, basically sort of approving BCS's charter renewal plus an addendum that the charter school had written the previous week. We found out about that Friday afternoon before Labor Day. But I think all of us were there, including Vladimir this time, at the meeting
Especially.
on the
Especially by there.
at the meeting on the 4th. And after some extended, not even extended, after some questioning and back and forth, the county board actually ended up rejecting the motion to reconsider. So basically, the decision from the 27th stands. And that decision basically set a deadline of December for the charter school to develop the MOU in conjunction with county staff. And then sort of bring it back to the board no later than their mid-December meeting. So that's where it stands. We have some indication that BCS intends to appeal, but we haven't got any confirmation sort of formally, I don't think, one way or another. So
The only thing I'd add to that is the county had the right to extend for 5 or 7 years, to 7 years. They only did for 5.
And then there's one other piece, I don't think you mentioned that they are taking the cap off of the free and reduced lunch preference.
And it's now the second preference.
It was the second preference,
So,
but
yeah,
the 10% has been taken off as a cap. It is no longer has a cap.
anyway, if anyone watching this wants to get more details, everything's up on the County Board of Education website, and their video recording system is pretty good about taking you directly to the moment or to the agenda item in question.
Yeah.
I do recommend you do it after.
So, anything that I forgot? Anything else?
Great.
So I believe that, yeah, so as far as we know, BCS may go forward with the state, they may go forward with the county, they may do both, we'll see what happens. Okay. Without any other addendums, then unless there's any request for public comment, we will move on to page 4. 23-24 unaudited actual.
So tonight, we're here to present the 23-24 unaudited actuals. This is the time when we close the books for 23-24. It's in the rearview mirror, which is a nice place to be sometimes. It's really accounting for all the revenue and expenditures for the previous fiscal year. And then, once we're completed this, we'll be submitting to the county and to the state controller's office, and then to our external auditors for the final audit. It's an action item, so we'll be asking you guys to approve this. Some really good news on our financials. And a lot of the belt tightening that we've been talking about really for the last year and a half, we're seeing the results of that. So it was a nice time. I really wanted to acknowledge the entire business staff, as many of our staff are on vacation for summer break. The business staff is working all year round to close the books and the financials. I especially want to acknowledge Elizabeth, our new fiscal director. She really hit the ground running, getting our budget adopted in her first several weeks of on the job, and then really worked tirelessly all summer. I kind of ordered her to take a vacation. She goes, "Oh, no, I still have stuff to do." So, but she's been working really hard. It's been a great addition to our staff. I know Vladimir mentioned to me that he really enjoyed the SACS forms where we had a couple of different formatting changes. So it's a little bit cleaner and easier to read. So thank you for the acknowledgement. I'll let Elizabeth know.
Yeah, by the way, she's Croatian too.
Yes.
Not-
But a really good year. We had good property tax growth. We did have a lot of the one-time funds that were utilized. Revenue is 84.1 million, our expenditure was 79.1. Our net change in our fund balance was 2.5 million. And then our unrestricted beginning balance was 16.3. The assigned are some site carryovers and some restricted funds, and that's what that assigned category is. So our unassigned ending fund balance is 18.1 million, which is a nice place to be. Our cash position is solid. We've talked about this. We did do a tran to possibly borrow cash, but because we're in a better financial position for cash, we don't think we're going to need to be borrowing to do a tran, and that, that's a big change for us. We did do an interfund borrowing memorandum and resolution in the spring. So if we do need to borrow for cash flow, we'll be able to do that from other funds that we have internally. So that's a great position to be in for us financially. We haven't been able to do that in a while. And so we're very excited the way the year ended. Some of the recap of the things that really we met our targeted reductions, and we've been talking about this for the staffing levels of getting us to what we call that word right size staffing. Last year at 23-24, we ended the year at 430 FTEs, and at our adopted budget this year, we're down to 421. There is some savings that we feel we're going to see some more savings. There's some positions that were budgeted for. Special ed is working hard to move people around for where the student needs are. So special ed will be giving some analysis probably in the next 2 weeks. And then we'll have a lot more clear picture of how this year is looking. We'll have some property tax numbers from the assessor's office on our property tax growth. And then we'll also be able to look at our staffing levels and tighten those up for first interim in December. And that'll be the next big reporting period for the business office. There's been a continuing analysis of operational efficiencies of in-house versus contracted services. And Kimberly Fletcher let us know how excited she was that CSA was happy that we were able this summer to use some of our own staff to do some extra cleaning, extra overtime for some of our staff members for custodial. We used our food services staff to help us because some of those people are off during the summer, and instead of using contracted services. So we're going to be looking at that a little bit tighter as well. And then using our one-time restricted funds. Elizabeth and I had a good joke as how much restricted funds can we use first? And we were looking, we have a lot of educator effectiveness and Title II funds for some of our professional development. I know Greg and Carrie are working closely together to utilize those funds. So there's going to be a lot of great professional development this year. And our job as a business is to make sure we can afford to pay for all these things. So it's really exciting to work together. We have a great team. It's been great. The curriculum instruction team and the business staff and HR, we're all really working cohesively to make sure we've got the resources to offer the programs that we need for our kids. So it's been a great year and great recap on us for 23-24. Some future concerns. The federal government was talking about lowering interest rates. We haven't seen that yet. We do feel that it's going to help. The property tax growth has slowed, but it's pretty stable in Los Altos. The inventory, there's not a lot of inventory out there, but the prices have been very stable, so that helps us. And as we talked about in some of our bond financing when we sold the last authorization measure in, was that 85% of the homes roughly in Los Altos are below market value. So when a home does sell, it's a pretty large increase in our property taxes. So as we see the economy rebound in the housing market, I feel that we will see some good property tax growth. Maybe not so much this year, but I think in the next out years, we should see some more growth, positive growth. We did see an increase in the number of senior exemptions for 24-25. We'll update you on the parcel tax revenue and what that looks like, and we'll give you those updates in December. The state and federal government is not funding TK. You heard Denise and Greg talk about the great TK program. Yeah, they're not funding it. And so they talked about the little furniture. I've never seen such little chairs that we had to purchase last year. But yeah, they're really not funding TK. We did get a very beginning when the program got started, we got an implementation grant. But since then, there's really nothing for basic aids, community funded school districts. Universal meals is partially funded, where we do get some reimbursement from the state, federal government, and the national school lunch program, but it's not enough to cover the cost of the programs. So those are things, and then obviously we know about special education. Many of you are advocating in CSBA. Some of you have gone to Washington to advocate for more federal resources to help us. And that's a long, and every school district is dealing with the same issue. And some of our fixed costs are increasing, our healthcare premiums. We thought last year's healthcare costs went up a lot. PERS just released their healthcare rates. All the healthcare premiums are all going up, still 10% on average. So we're going to be mindful of those, and that will start in January 25 for the healthcare premiums. So they go from calendar year to calendar year. Our PERS rates have increased. Insurance rates, which is the property and liability insurance, are all going up. Many school districts that live in like wildfire areas those premiums are getting very expensive. So we're lucky we live in a relatively mild area. We have to be mindful of those things, and workers' compensation rates and utilities are all increasing. So a lot of great news and things that we're doing, but we also have to be very mindful of the cost. So those are things that we're looking at in our future concerns. And it's kind of the same concerns we see every year: the unfunded mandates, not fully funding special ed, and then just increased costs. Inflation has slowed a little bit. So we're hoping that we can get kind of caught up and not see such big spikes in some of our fixed costs. But those are some things we're looking at. And then tonight, we're just asking you to approve the 23-24 unaudited actuals so we can send them to the auditor.
Any questions from the board? Any requests for public comment? Any further discussion? Anybody? Otherwise, could I get a motion to approve the 2023-24 unaudited actuals?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Motion to approve 23-24 unaudited actuals made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Eric. Yes. Math
Moving
real
on
well.
to resolution 24-25-02, adopting the GAN limit.
Sure, this is an annual item. Every time school districts have to do their unaudited actuals, we're also submitting a resolution for the GAN limit. It's an appropriations limit based on a formula from the previous year. So we have to settle up what our GAN limit was for 23-24, and then also what our estimated appropriations limit will be for 24-25. So this is an annual item. And so we're asking the board to approve resolution 24-25-02 to adopt the GAN limit.
Any questions? Any requests for public comment? No. Any further board discussion? Otherwise, can I get a motion to approve resolution 24/25-02?
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Motion to adopt resolution 24/25-02 made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. It's the resolution. I will call the roll. Steve,
Yes.
Vladimir,
Yes.
Shally,
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to H6, appointment to the Northwest Special Education Local Plan Area Community Advisory Committee.
Yes, so this is the first year where our SELPAs have consolidated into, I don't remember honestly how many there were countywide, but we're going from many to 2. So we are now part of the Northwest SELPA. And every SELPA in the past has had their own community advisory committee. These are now becoming combined advisory committees, so parent advisory groups. So we have 2 of our LASD parents, Max Sung and Amanda Short, who would like to be our appointed committee members, and they require your approval, and I believe their information was attached to the item. So we appreciate that we have parents who want to be involved with the CACs.
Any questions?
Question for Sandra. Sandra, could you just very briefly tell us what a cell site is?
A SELPA is a local plan area, special education local plan area. So it's a group of, I think we have. Our old SELPA was easier because there were like 3 school districts. Anyway, combined together, all of the funding goes into our SELPA.
All the special education.
All of the special ed funding goes into the SELPA, the regulations, the oversight, they're kind of the county oversight organization. How about that?
That's fine.
Is there any, I think I have this vague impression that they were originally created so that districts could like pool resources around.
Yeah, so
serving certain students.
programs, resources, all of that. Do you have more info? Yeah, I was like, you
Yeah.
probably know more. You were a SPED director.
So is there, in our experience, is there a lot of coordination with other districts through the SELPA or?
In some cases, they will like for mental health funding, for extraordinary cost programs. Partnering in that way, regional. One district will house a therapeutic program, another district might house them once a year.
Right.
And
So the money can.
Right, so several members of our SELPA send students to our therapeutic special day program. Because their districts don't offer that program, and it's kind of an easy exchange because we're in the same.
It makes it easier for the money to flow,
Theoretically.
in theory,
Yes.
if there were enough money for all of
Yes.
this.
Exactly.
All right, any further discussion? Would anyone like to make a motion?
So move.
Well, oh, sorry, what are you moving?
No. Would you like to be more specific about your motion?
I'll let you, make the, request. I thought you.
All right, motion to approve the appointments of Max Sung and Amanda Short to the Northwest SELPA CAC. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. Absent any further board discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes 5-0. Moving on, H7, mentor tutor connection memorandum of understanding.
All right, so each year we bring to you an MOU with our great community partner, Mentor Tutor Connection. We've been longtime partners with them. They work at multiple schools. Our Reading Fellows program, I think this year they're doing some writing tutoring and homework club tutoring over at Santa Rita. They work a lot at our junior high schools. People kind of bring their own interest and expertise, and we match those tutoring needs. We don't get a lot of mentors at the junior high and elementary level. Those are mostly for the high schools. But we do get great tutoring services and support services for students. So tonight I ask that you approve our MOU with Mentor Tutor Connection.
Any questions, board members? Any requests for public comments? Someone like to make a motion to approve the 24-25 Metro Tutor Connection Memorandum of Understanding?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Motion to approve the MOU made by Vladimir, seconded by Shelley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes 5-0. H8, resolution 24/25-03.
Yes, and so tonight we have 2 resolutions in a row, and I do want to point out for resolution for item 9. This is a typo here, but the actual resolution has the correct 24-25-04. See that? Anyhow, both item 8 and item 9, those 2 resolutions give us flexibility should we need it. So the first one is that giving us authority should we have a need in a single subject classroom that a multiple subject credential holder can fill that need. And then item 9, that resolution is for the opposite, that a single subject teacher could fulfill the duties of a multiple subject classroom need. At this point in time, we don't have this need, but it's something we do each year, just in case that need does arise. So I appreciate if you can approve those.
Okay, any questions? Any requests for public comment? Would someone like to make a motion to adopt resolution 24/25-03?
So moved.
Second.
Absent any further board discussion, motion made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. Call the roll, Jessica.
Aye.
Shally.
Yes.
Vladimir.
Aye.
Steve.
Yeah.
I also vote yes. Motion passes 5-0. And unless there are any questions or requests for public comment, I think we move straight on to motion H9. To adopt resolution 24/25-04.
I'm sorry. I was,
I will entertain a motion to
Yeah,
approve
so
resolution
moved.
24/24.
I was late this time. I was early last time. I'll get it right eventually.
I'll second.
Motion to adopt the resolution made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. Absent any further board discussion, I will call the roll again. Steve.
Yes.
Vladimir.
Yes.
Shally.
Yes.
Jessica.
Aye.
Also vote yes. Motion
We'll come to you
passes
tonight.
5-0. H10, board policy updates, review and approval.
All right, so for this item, we have 2 updates coming to you where I would appreciate, hopefully you spent time reading and approving. We typically do these in 2 meetings, but tonight I'm asking you to do 1. The first is board policy and administrative regulation 7160 around charter school facilities. Our Prop 39 policy and AR was out of date. So this is the most recent CSBA update that we want to make sure we have in place because we are getting ready to launch into Prop 39. So that is charter school facilities. And then the board bylaw, an exhibit for 9270 needed some updating from it's not the county, what's his? The executive, that's the word. And just a little bit of changes and updates necessary for that particular policy. And we want to send that back to the Board of Supervisors for their approval. So that's why we're asking that just for 1 night.
Okay. If anyone would like to provide public comment on this item, please submit a speaker card. Are there any questions from the board on either of those items?
I should,
Sure.
on the charter school one, they used the word facility shall be contiguous. That means contiguous on a campus, not that it can't be split up amongst multiple.
So if you continue reading through, they talk about different versions of what contiguous looks like. So it ideally, yes, but if the size is bigger than any of our existing schools, then that could be across multiple schools as well.
You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Any requests for public comment? Okay. And would anyone like to make a motion to approve BPAR 7160 and BBE 9270?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Absent any further board discussion, motion to approve these 2 updated board policies made by Vladimir, seconded by Shally. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Passes 5-0. H11.
Excellent. So this is just a resolution based on the conflict of interest code that you just approved.
Gotcha. Any questions? Any board comment, any requests for public comment? Anyone like to make a motion to adopt resolution 24/25-05?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Absent any further board discussion, motion, I will call the roll for motion to approve resolution 24/25-05. Steve,
Yes.
Vladimir,
Yes.
Shally,
Yes.
Jessica.
Aye.
I also vote yes, motion passes 5-0. Can only do so many of those in a row before I start.
No.
right. Finally down to age 12.
Yes, so we have our typical cadence, several new board policies for you to review over the next 2 weeks before we meet again. And please let me know in the next 2 weeks if you have questions or concerns, we can get those addressed before we meet for approval in 2 weeks.
Any preliminary questions? Yes.
Board policy 2121 superintendent's contract. Do we have a separate? Does that also include the assistant superintendents or not?
I don't believe this one does.
Okay. Assuming no request for public comment on this one. So I think we'll move on to board administrative.
Just a quick update, we are planning to commence our negotiations with our employee group this year. We're in our 3rd year of our agreement, which it's a real opener year, meaning we'll be with benefits and up to 2 articles per party. I want to let you know we've slated October 28th for our launch session with the LATA, and we're hoping to host a lunch where we would invite you all to come and just enjoy and visit with our negotiations team.
October 28th.
October 28th. I can send an email. Additional information.
Last week, we had our first CACF meeting, which was great. Great feedback always from CACF, and they're putting together their goals and their plans for the year, and things to look at. And we did let them know, as Carrie mentioned, it's a negotiation year, so they'll be working at some things to look at. And then our bond oversight committee will be meeting next week. And then I was very lucky to walk over to Block Middle School for their pancake breakfast on Saturday. They had some nice pancakes and got to meet Wade, was there with his wife and 2 beautiful daughters. I got to talk to some PTA and to a lot of parents. It was a nice turnout. And it was a beautiful day to do it, so it was really great. So thanks.
Sandra, anything?
Nothing else to add.
Steve? Nope.
Nothing except the 2 nights that were mentioned, attended a fascinating Clark County Board of Education review about BCS renewal. A fun time was had by all, especially Steve. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
You were, but you wish for.
Sean?
No, nothing other than, what was already mentioned. I'm really, really feel very privileged to serve with the 4 of you that we care so much that we would be there, the County Board of Education at like nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, because we care about our students and equity. And so it's grueling, but it also fills my heart to be with you guys. And Sandy.
Jessica?
Same. You and I actually had the meeting, Brian had a meeting with Pat Showalter and Lisa Matichak of the new city council, Pat being the mayor. They just wanted to kind of update of what we've been doing. Pretty much everything. It was more of a, they kind of called it, they want to have more conversations with us in general. That was good. I attended those meetings with you all, and every couple of weeks I do the LASD community gives back and help make sure that people in our community are food secure.
Okay, I don't think I have anything to add, other than I also attended Vegan Back to School Night, which was great. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, and I'm touring Alcove this weekend,
That's very good.
Oh, yeah,
which is a mental health facility.
right, mental health facility on Middlefield.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to do that, but I wrote it down on my calendar wrong. Now I can't.
Yeah. I love to return.
All right. Is there anything else? Sure.